State was brutally assaulted and killed by an illegal alien from Venezuela. The attack and murder happening in Athens, Georgia.
He was an illegal immigrant. He was an illegal migrant. And he shouldn't have been in our country, and he never would have been under the Trump policies.
President Biden used the term illegal during his State of the Union address Thursday night, and then walks the word back during a sit-down interview with MSNBC, saying he should have used the word undocumented when referring to the illegal alien from Venezuela. And the Oscar goes to the Academy Awards being handed out to the biggest names in Hollywood. The stars will take to the red carpet for the 96th award ceremony in LA. And a reminder to set your clocks ahead an hour. The time change, springing forward, taking place at 2 a.m. Sunday, will fall back in November. And I'm Laura Winters, USA News.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted. Their pure ground burgers are made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip,
April 7th.
and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order, plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger, so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted for a juicier, more tender experience, making your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code TREAT at checkout and get $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight and discover your new burger obsession. And more may be required.
Send it to Joey.
What is still unclear this Sunday, will President Biden agree to debate former President Trump ahead of the November election? Reporters asking the president this key question prior to boarding Air Force One to Philadelphia on Friday. Here's his answer.
It depends on his behavior.
And Vice President Kamala Harris weighing in on whether Biden should debate Trump.
We'll get to that at some point, and we'll deal with that.
In other news, President Biden says he is still hoping to have a ceasefire in place in the Middle East prior to the start of Ramadan. Biden says his CIA director is conducting last-minute talks in Israel. The Muslim holiday starts Sunday night.
So I want to see a ceasefire, starting with a major exchange of prisoners for a 6-week period. We're going into Ramadan. There should be nothing happening, and we should build up for that ceasefire.
Israeli and U.S. hostages still being held by Hamas terrorists since the attack on October 7th.
29-year-old Cole Brower grew up on Long Island.
And she hopes to be an inspiration to women around the world. USA's Ryan Daniels on the first woman to sail solo all the way around the globe. Here's his report.
Now, she's a global solo challenge champion, sailing into Spain early Thursday after a 30,000-mile adventure. She was forced to sail through hurricane-force winds and 30-foot-high waves at certain points.
And I'm Laura Winters, USA News.
Good to see you. Joe, take care. Take care.
Yeah.
Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling. Audiobook Network provides professional voice actors and full production services for every author
absolutely.
script. From
It'd be a great show.
editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything. If you have a print book, ebook, or even a manuscript, call Audiobook Network now and get our free audiobook guide. 800-734-1229. 800-734-1229.
This time change is rough.
Huh?
Time change is rough.
It's still dark.
To do to support people in your hometown is to run community announcements.
I like it. It's still dark.
You do belong to a nonprofit.
But, you know,
She'll level up.
Get me here.
Couple
Get me
weeks.
here.
To your town government. Send your community announcements along to our email address. It's safe, it's fast, and allows us to get right back to you if we have a question. Send your community announcements to WVBF1530@hotmail.com. That's WVBF1530@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. Your hometown radio station is AM 1530, WVBF, and 99.7 FM.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Red mic.
Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Weekend Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
And good morning, and welcome to Middleboro in Review. I'm Joey Driscoll, joined by Don today. Good morning, Don. How are you?
Good morning, Joey.
I'm not adjusting well to this daylight savings time.
You know what? Nobody feels it right now, especially at the beginning stages, of the first day or whatnot. It's a Sunday, so most people don't have to get up and work, but we're here bright and early. It's 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Some people would say it's 6:10 a.m., but it's really 7:10 a.m. In some places, it's still 7:10 a.m., 6:10 a.m., 5:10 a.m.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. A lot of people. I think it's the fall that people have a tough time adjusting more than the spring.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you lose your hour's sleep, but tonight, at 7 o'clock, the sun will still be it will be still got set, and so at 6:30 you'll still see daylight, which is nice, but it doesn't feel like it. If, you know 24 hours prior. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't feel real for at least a couple of weeks, and then when you start seeing the sun at 7 o'clock. Your attitude changes a little, but it's a tough, it's a tough adjustment at first, I think. But I mean, it goes with the territory, right?
Yes. Good morning to everyone listening this morning. Open phone lines today: 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is the number to call if you want to call in today. Talk about what's on your mind. Chat with us. Open phone lines today. Next week we have a guest. His name is Kevin Wayne. Will be coming in reading some St. Patrick's Day poems. We might also be getting a phone call as well from another friend of ours. Not sure is that 100% confirmed. Is that confirmed, or we're still waiting?
We're still waiting to hear. I called him. I invited him down, to come to the studio, but he lives in New Hampshire, so I can't see that happening. But a phone call would be good. I'll send him another text, and it'd be good. I grew up with both these guys, and they're my brothers in a way. They're awesome people, and it'd be good to have them on. And they're both Irish, pretty much. I mean, Pat, his mother and father were born in Ireland.
Pretty much confirmed for the 24th is Carol Doherty. She'll be coming in or calling in. I don't know. I haven't asked her if she'll be coming in or calling in.
Yesterday?
I did talk to her. I'm gonna send her a text with all the information today, later on today, and so the 24th is pretty much confirmed.
And then have a big party on the 7th.
Yes, so that's coming. We still got the 31st to talk about. On the 31st, confirmed for the 31st, we have Middleboro School Committee member Ezekiel Lewis, not Ezekiel Elliott. That's Patriots. Ezekiel Lewis. I have Patriots on the brain today. A lot of people do. Because it's
you Sam the Butcher
this week. Because this week is Patriots is NFL free agency, so a lot of people have that in their head. Yeah. Ezekiel Lewis I hope you're not listening.
You know who Sam the Butcher is?
What?
You know who Sam the Butcher is?
No, I don't.
He was in the Brady Bunch. He dated Alice. And you just butchered the poor man's name. So let's try it again.
I apologize. Ezekiel Lewis will be calling in or coming in. I don't know. I haven't asked him if he's coming in or calling in. I did confirm, though, that he will be with us on the 31st. Either calling in or coming in.
You know what's amazing? You went to school with him. He graduated the same year you did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And yeah, but we'll be talking with him on the 31st. And it's Ezekiel Lewis, not Ezekiel Elliott. Again, I apologize. I don't know why I said that. Again, NFL free agency this week. I have that in my head too.
Do you ever heard of Sam the Butcher?
You just said that.
The kid's name.
I know. I did. I know. I apologize. I hope he wasn't listening. It's Sunday morning.
He dated Alice on the Brady Bunch.
It's Sunday morning, everybody. Does this stuff tends to happen. I apologize.
They're gonna blame it on the clocks, right?
No, I'll just blame it on Sunday morning, and I don't have enough coffee.
He dated Alice on the Brady Bunch. Sam the Butcher.
Anyway, moving on from that catastrophe before it gets any worse. April 7th, we have Chuck Hart coming in, and possibility of another guest as well. We talked to him this morning, but that hasn't been confirmed yet, so I don't want to say anything yet until that is confirmed, if that's going to happen or not. But we will have Chuck Hart. That is 100% confirmed.
Chuck Hart in the house.
April 7th as well is a special show because that will be my 5-year anniversary show. April 7th, 2020. 5 year.
I've been with you every step of the way.
Pretty much every single show, yes. Yeah.
Except the first one.
Yeah,
I remember when I sat here the first one, and I watched you. It was the first time.
It was tough.
It was a struggle.
Yes.
And you didn't have a guest or whatnot, so you got through the show.
Yep.
And then I asked Tony Lopes, who was the program manager at the time, can I jump in? He says, absolutely.
Yes.
You know the rules, right? He said something like that.
Yes.
You gotta be careful with what you say and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'll be fine. I'm not gonna jeopardize anything. And, it's funny too, because sometimes, growing up, especially in Boston, you know how things, they call it colorful metaphors from Spock. Have you ever seen Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home? He talks about colorful metaphors. So, and you obviously you can't have any colorful metaphors.
No.
You're down to leave it to Diva talk. You're down to Don, Heck, Josh.
Yes.
And you, I don't even, there's other words that you could probably say that I don't even want to say. But it's definitely cleaned me up a little bit. I don't jump, the colorful metaphors don't jump out as much as they used to. And that's because you got to watch yourself on the radio. You do. You got to be really careful what you say. And
absolutely,
that's discipline in a way. But I mean, in a way, it kind of makes you a little better. You don't need to be.
Yep. So April 7th, 2024 will be my 5th year anniversary. It'll start my 6th year on the air.
This particular show.
Particular show. Oh, we have a caller. Let me see who this. Let me get my headphones on. Let me make sure I have this up. There we go. And we're gonna say good morning to our caller. Good morning, caller. Good morning, Chuck.
Made my Sunday comedy place it makes me laugh. The repetition of hearing about Sam the Butcher.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, he was a lucky guy.
And remember Carol Brady was from Swampscott, Massachusetts, Don and Joey. Did you know that?
No.
I did not.
Florence Henderson?
Not in real life, but there's an episode where Cindy has a lisp. She has braces and she has a lisp. So at the very end of it, you can Google it. Just Google Carol Brady, Swampscott. She says, and how do you think I felt, Mike? I grew up on the list too, and I grew up in Swampscott, Massachusetts. You guys have a blessed day, and I'm really looking forward to on the 7th to celebrate 5 years.
Yeah, Chuck. I think Sam was a lucky guy because Alice was pretty good. What do you think?
Alice was amazing.
Alice.
Tim the Butcher, he was on All in the Family too, John. I know you know that.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was he in the Odd Couple too? Oh no.
I think he was. So I think he might have had a couple of years. But I'll let you guys go. But I'm looking forward to listening to the rest of the show today, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you the 7th.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Chuck.
Take care, guys.
Yep.
Chuck Hart.
Yeah.
Again, will be our guest April 7th, 2024 for our 5th year anniversary program. That'll officially start our 6th year. I think that's how it goes, right? And it'll start our 6th year on the air.
That's it. Chuck Hart on Middleboro Grill, Schwell. That's from another one. It's from Pork Chops and Applesauce, Schwell. He's probably laughing right now. But, yeah.
So that's coming up as well. April 14th, Thomas White, Middleboro Select Board member, will be calling in to the show on the 14th as well. So that's coming up.
And that, you're talking a year since the election.
Yes, 1 year.
Coming a little past,
1 year.
Yeah, April 1st was the elections of 23.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he got a year under his belt as a new selectman. So it'll be really interesting to see what's going on with the town. And Middleboro is a happening place in my opinion.
It is.
And plus, you got the South Coast Rail open. You got the new train station, and I was wondering how it's going to affect the people who bought condos near the original train station. It's just, you kind of feel bad for those people because I think they bought, they bought the condos for the reason, it's a 2-minute walk to the train station. Now, what are they going to do now? That's why I suggested that maybe if they could do it, make a little boardwalk next to the tracks from that original station. Build a little pedestrian bridge across 28 and then get right to the station. It's still a little bit of walk, but they don't have to walk down the hill, underneath the highway, and up the hill again. It's more of a it's probably a 10-minute walk next to the tracks, more like a rail trail. And I don't know. I'm not sure if they could do it or how much it costs, but that'd be ideal. It'd be ideal for some of the town to look into and see if they could do it. But I know from past experiences and watching Board of Selectmen meetings and talking to people, and that the T and down in Middleboro kind of like at odds a lot of times. I'm not sure if things have developed into more of a positive situation, but I mean, the T is coming through people's towns. You need to cooperate with the town, the Board of Selectmen, to be on the same page. I think would be ideal. I mean, that's the T, I heard. That's the T. So, can't get through anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a firewall in a way. So.
And the situation in Milton as well is very difficult.
Who knows how that's all going to fan out and whatever. I mean, who knows? It's the law passed, so I mean, you got to try to do something.
Yeah. I think they need to work together. The towns and the state need to work together, come to a understanding on both sides. That's going to work for both sides. That's going to work for both sides.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know the particulars. So
yeah.
Who knows? You don't know.
Yeah, that's something to look into.
But I mean, I don't think a one size fits all situation always works. Sometimes there's got to be compromise because if you build something that's to the letter of the law, okay, it's working, but is it more of a situation where it's useful and practical? It's just like back in the 1800s and all these railroads, they built competing lines next to each other. I mean, you'd have the Reading Railroad, you have the Pennsylvania, the New York they want to run lines together right next to each other because they compete. In a way, it's just, I guess so, but it's just, you got tracks 10 feet away from from the other tracks just competing. It's kind of waste, redundant in a way. So you just got to find out what the right recipe is. You know, back to you know, the right recipe is important, I think.
So that is your update on what's coming up for Middleboro in Review over the next month. Some great guests coming in and calling into the studio. Gonna be a fun month of Middleboro in Review. I want to say good morning to some of the Facebook listeners. Paul Lazarovich is listening in. Good morning, Paul. And Thomas White is listening in as well. So good morning, Thomas White, as well. We have our weather today. Driscoll, North Dakota. We'll start with the Driscolls first today. Driscoll, North Dakota, 28 degrees. Sunny skies. A high of 54 today with a low of 27 this evening. 55 tomorrow. Cloudy skies. 30 degrees for the low in Driscoll, North Dakota tomorrow night. In Driscoll, Texas, a high of 71 today, cloudy skies. Currently 50 degrees. The low is 50 degrees. Cloudy throughout the day. Cloudy throughout Monday in Driscoll, Texas. High of 76, a low of 62. And then starting on Tuesday all the way through Saturday, 80-degree days in Driscoll, Texas, which is really great. I think I was talking about a 90-degree day in Driscoll, Texas last week. So it's warming up pretty quickly in Driscoll, Texas. Probably within a month and a half, you'll be seeing 90s consistently in Texas and in Driscoll, Texas as well. So that's coming up really quickly. Middleboro, Massachusetts, 50 degrees, rain, light rain. It's kind of barely raining outside, kind of light rain out there. 53 degrees, a low of 35 this evening. Again, rain throughout the day. Wind tomorrow. It doesn't say if it's going to be sunny or anything like that. It just says windy. So it could be cloudy and windy, or it could be sunny and windy. I have no idea. I guess we'll have to find out tomorrow. 45 degrees, a low of 34. And on Tuesday, completely sunny, clear, 56 degrees, a low of 33 in Middleboro on Tuesday night. Taunton, and finally Taunton, 50 degrees, rain, 52 degrees for the high today, a low of 34 tonight. Windy, 45 degrees, a low of 33. And, yeah, there is your weather. And our Today in Histories, then we're going to be taking our first commercial break. We have a couple of Today in Histories, birthdays, and passings today. First, our Today in Histories. March 10th, 2000, the dot-com bubble bursts, or peaks, doesn't burst, with the NASDAQ Composite Stock Market Index reaching 5,048.62. So the dot-com bubble hit its peak on March 10th, 2000. 2019, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302, a Boeing 737 MAX crashes, leading to all 737 MAX aircraft being grounded worldwide. That was a huge story in 2019 with the Boeing 737 MAXs. Those were taken out of commission for, I think, quite a while, Don. The Boeing 737s. When this incident happened, they were taken out of commission for a while.
Yeah, there was a couple high-profile crashes around the time. So
yeah. 2023. 1 year ago today, Silicon Valley Bank collapses due to a run on its deposits. It is the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. Its operations are taken over by the FDIC. Birthdays. 1452 on March 10th. Ferdinand II, King of Castile and Leon, passed away in 1516. In 1503, Ferdinand I, Holy Roman Emperor, and passed away. He passed away on 1564. Ferdinand I and Ferdinand II were related. 1940, March 10th, Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is 84 today. Happy birthday, Chuck Norris. American actor, producer, and martial artist. Trying to remember. He was in a movie with Bruce Lee, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he was a martial artist expert.
I think he was in a movie with Bruce Lee. I don't know the name of the movie off the top of my head. It's something I had to look up during the commercial break, and I will.
And he had a series called Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yes,
so
which was huge.
Yeah, that was pretty successful. And then he did all the. He worked with Lee Marvin. He looked at a lot of people on. It was great. One of those movies they had. He had some, commando movies he did. So I mean, he was like one of the original commandos. Lone Wolf, another great movie that he did. That was really good. So yeah, Chuck Norris. Growing up, I loved him. He was like one of my idols. He was cool. I mean, working with people like Lee Marvin. Now Lee Marvin was awesome, and all those great actors. A lot of those actors were in westerns, and I'm watching a lot of westerns with your grandfather now, and you're seeing all these old actors who played on westerns and went on to Lee Van Cleef.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I like Lee Van Cleef a lot because he was Hawk, I believe, in the movie Escape from New York with Kurt Douglas. Snake Plissken. I'm gonna kick out of the country. He was the coolest. He was the coolest. He was the police commissioner.
Yeah.
And this guy was just cool as beans. He was this. I loved him. He was my favorite character. It was a tie between him and Kurt Russell, and everyone was great in that movie. So I mean, those guys were just great.
Born on the same day in 1963, Jeff Ament and Rick Rubin. Jeff Ament, bass player for Pearl Jam, an amazing bass player for the band, and Rick Rubin, the American record producer. He produced Black Sabbath's final album, which was called 13. He almost did a second Sabbath album in 2001. They were working on it. They had tracks, apparently, they had songs that were written that sounded very, very good. And then it fell apart, unfortunately. But he was going to be the producer for that as well.
That would have been original, I think. I think Bill Ward was in the picture at that
And Bill Ward was in the picture at that point, too. Yes, in 2001. Passings. 1913, Harriet Tubman, American nurse and activist. 1942, Wilbur Scoville, American pharmacist and chemist. The Scoville scale, very important, very important. And 1988, Andy Gibb, Australian singer-songwriter and actor.
Hot for up. Everyone loved him.
All right, we're going to take our first commercial break right now, and we'll come back in just a few minutes with Middleboro in Review on WVB at 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. We'll be right back. Seven more ads. Seven more times after this.
Done anytime.
I'm gonna keep an eye on it. That's seven more weekends. I gotta calculate on that. That's it. When that ends.
Railroad ties, tires, appliances, paints, and much, much more.
Microphones
Like
in my
concrete,
face.
brick, asphalt, yard removal, brush, logs, and leaves. Also,
You played both the paying ads this first time around?
I'm gonna do it this first
houses
time around.
and property in general.
I think that's what I'm gonna do going forward.
I think so. I think you should just load it up, and then if you get more,
Yeah, and then the PSA is the second. Yeah,
because exactly.
And I'm gonna try to take the second commercial break at 7:50.
I want you to change that ad at some point, though. I know you did a good job on it.
Yeah, this this summer.
Spark Street in Brockton,
We'll wait for the warm weather to come.
No, I want to do it so I can get this out of it, right?
Yeah, of course.
They are a direct repair shop for all major.
Still winter.
You can reach them at 508.
It's still winter. No, even though it's pretty much done 10 days from now, but no, it's still winter.
Not over yet.
Not over yet. No, no.
It always snows on St. Patrick's Day for some reason. I don't know why. It has the last 4 years.
Well, if I looked at the forecast recently, it was very warm. Is an association very warm for a while. Combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles. It's just the rain that's kind of being a pain right now. Those who have defended our country and freedoms. Our focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing, shelter, and guidance, or simply to say thank you and welcome home. We have members from nearly all 50 states and living abroad. Many members. There's something I saw yesterday about the Silver Line. And or participate in many motorcycle-related charity events each year, and as a non-profit organization, donate to various veteran care facilities and veteran charities. To learn more about the Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association and how you can join or support, please visit cvma2-2.org.
Hi, this is Martha Clopin, your host for Medicare Moment with Martha. Each week, we present the latest information on health, legal, and lifestyle issues that affect you and your family. It's fascinating, fast-paced, and fun as we explore all aspects of the Medicare maze. So join me for a Medicare Moment with Martha, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sunday mornings at 9 on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, WVBF, your hometown radio station.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And we're back as I turn the music down. There we go. I'm Joey Driscoll, joined by Dawn as always. Dawn, are you ready to talk about transportation?
Yeah, what's the time for it?
We do. And we don't have a guest today, so usually when we don't have a guest here on the show, we talk about transportation quite a bit. So.
Talk about a great adventure?
Yes, but before I get to that, we went on a really fun train trip on Friday. But before we get to
kind of crazy, kind of off, outside the box.
Yeah, absolutely. But
screw loose kind of thing, you know what I mean?
But before we get to that, we have some news that kind of broke yesterday or the other day, Friday actually. That kind of broke that the MBTA is looking at a new Silver Line spur that would be extended to Everett under a new plan. The recommended change in service would mean the SL3, as it's known, would finish its run at the T's Orange Line stop at Sullivan Square.
That's great. That's what they need. That's big loop. They connected it. That's awesome because I thought they were going to do that because is one of the stops going to be the casino? Anything written on that?
Well, let me read into this a little. I'm going to read in a little bit here. 1 1 second. Well, the recommendation came as the two agencies released the results of an ongoing Silver Line extension alternatives analysis project. The extension is exactly what we are talking about when we say the Haley administration is prioritizing public transportation investments, which fills gaps in our system, increase access for our residents and in underserved communities, and make our transportation network more equitable. And that's a quote from the Transportation Secretary, Monica Tibbetts-Nutt. First opened in 2018, the SL3 currently connects Chelsea with Boston Logan International Airport, East Boston, and the Seaport District. I'm looking at so here's the map I'm looking at here. Doesn't say anything about new stations.
They're probably
at
still,
all.
No, they're probably still in the process of. I think there'll be a station near the casino because I think they're just working off a track right away, a spur.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it goes behind the casino because that commuter rail does. So this is the best of both worlds because you can get the North Station by the Chelsea Station, which is the end of the Silver Line 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be awesome because that's another way to Logan Airport from anyone coming from the Orange Line. And the Orange Line is so close to the Green Line, the new extension, that they could probably do something. They could probably run something. I mean, they could connect all. They got so much room to connect.
They could connect a lot of things.
Yeah,
There's renewed talk about the red line and blue line connection as well. There's definitely some things that they can do for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think eliminate Bowdoin Station altogether. That's so close to Government Station. It's so close.
Mm-hmm.
It's old too. It hasn't been rebuilt, so obviously they got to probably. That's what the turnaround is. But I mean, the T doesn't need a turnaround. They can just the whole system. They just walk to the other side. So yeah, I mean, connected to the red line. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, can they go further? Yes, but I mean, you go through the heart of the city. So, but as far as the Silver Line, that's a cheap date.
Yes.
You can get that. You can get that taken care of pretty easy. If you got the existing right, you just lay a road bed down and buy a few more buses, build a couple stations, which are glorified bus shelters. Pretty much, that's what they are. But you know what? But we'll get back to when we talk about our adventure. But they don't have. You can't buy tickets at these bus shelters. We tried to do it, and I thought for sure I'd be able to load my Charlie card at those bus shelters on the Silver Line, and you couldn't. And I'm just like, oh, what am I going to do? I got no cash on me. The T doesn't take regular credit cards yet, which is I don't understand that. But that's something that they need to think about doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Right? Because how many people walk up and says, "Oh, I wanted to buy a card." Well, just get on. So obviously, most bus drivers aren't going to throw you back out in the cold. I'm sure there's a couple that will. They're like, "Oh, well, sorry, those are the rules," but most of them don't. They'll just let you on. So, but meanwhile, that person, if they could buy a ticket or load their Charlie card at that particular bus shelter, would, and they would just buy it, and then the T would get the revenue. But I think the T is missing out on a lot of revenue situations because you can't load your Charlie card, and you can't take credit cards. You should be able to swipe any credit card at that fare box. Amex, anything. Discover, Visa, they should be able to take it. Just like it's easy going to the supermarket and buying a pack of cheese doodles with your credit card, your fanny pack. You should be able to do that with the T. You should be able to pull your credit card out and swipe it, and the $1.75 or the $1.70 or whatever it is. That way, the T is not losing on the money because they wonder where all the money's going. No one's paying fare. And I think most people will pay fare, but it's just like, I don't no one carries cash. So, all methods of payment should be ideal, okay? Or have machines, so.
The Green Line reopened after an 18-day closure, and parts of the Green Line. I don't think the entire Green Line was closed, but parts of the Green Line was closed.
What part was that?
I don't know.
You don't want to ask it. You should have
I
that
do
stuff
not
up.
know because I didn't talk about it. Give me 1 second.
No, you don't have
give
to,
me
whatever.
give me 1 second.
I figured it was up.
I'll look for it.
But as far as New York, we rode New York Metro Rail on Friday from New York, from upstate Wasahic, New York.
Yes.
And each station has you can buy your Charlie cards, or not Charlie cards. You can buy their Metro Pass. Every station has it. You can't purchase tickets. There's no machines at these commuter rail stations. There's not one in Lakeville, Middleboro. They have a little machine. They had them. They had a little machine. It was under, it's just, if they have that little machine where you can buy, and the parking was great too. We paid $3.75 for the parking for 16 hours. Okay, you just go in, you punch in your number. We'll spot 371. Perfect. You put your card in. We'll spot you 371, and it tells you, 16 hours, 24 hours. You can park there for 4 or 5 days, as long as you're paid. And you pick, okay, it was $3.75 for 16 hours, and it was more. I didn't really get the amounts, but it's useless if you can't park your vehicle there and go to the airport and fly back like 7-10 days later. You're willing to pay for it, but there's no overnight parking technically in the T. They gotta get with the times, and no one's paying.
So I wasn't able to find what was closed, but whatever was closed on the Green Line reopened, and
whatever was
just
closed.
Hours.
What?
Yeah, I don't have that information.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
I didn't talk about it, so I don't have that information on me.
So whatever was closed on the Green Line is open.
Whatever was closed on the Green Line is open, and on the B Line, just hours after the reopening, there was a derailment. Unfortunately, there was a derailment. And also on the Green Line, on a lighter note, also on the Green Line, there was a duck on the tracks. On the Green Line.
That made the news?
It made the news.
Wait, it wouldn't move?
It wouldn't move, I guess. It caused some delays, yeah.
What's the Mickey Mouse? Really? The Donald Duck standoff? How about moving?
I thought I should mention that.
What, you got a protester here?
As a lighter note there.
Yeah.
But Orange Line will be closed this weekend. The MBTA will suspend service yesterday and today, March 9th and 10th, on 2 segments of the Orange Line between Ruggles and Forest Hills. This suspension will take place so that MBTA can perform critical signal improvement work on the Orange Line in efforts to advance the MBTA's wide track improvement plan. There will be some free shuttle buses that will make stops at all of the stations between Ruggles and Forest Hills. The commuter rail will be free between Forest Hills, Ruggles, Back Bay, and South Station. And you can plan, make sure to plan extra time for commutes to anticipate longer than normal wait times. Again, Orange Line between Ruggles and Forest Hills closed this weekend, will reopen Monday. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. All right. Done. We're going to take our last commercial break right now. Well, when we come back, we'll spend the rest of the time talking about our trip on Friday. The Harlem line of the Metro North Railroad. We rode that.
The upper Harlem line.
The upper Harlem line. We rode the entire thing. And we'll talk about that when we come back here on Middleboro in Review. I'm Joey Driscoll. Today is March 10th, 2024. And we'll be right back. You're listening to WVBF 1530 AM, 99.7 FM.
Give me a little time. I want to talk about in more detail about the pay machines and how it's, you know what I'm saying? Because that was brilliant. It was pretty.
What, the pay machines
for the parking and
yeah.
the tickets? Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about that first.
Yeah.
Let's work together to make attendance a priority. School is where kids belong.
Oftentimes, the wheelchairs our veterans and first responders receive from their healthcare providers are subpar at best. Some are falling apart with a years-long waiting list for a new one. This lag causes a tremendous amount of stress for our heroes and creates a burden for their caregivers. Isolation leads to we build what they need to get outdoors, hiking, fishing, or playing sports. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Matthew Mission Food Pantry helps people with food insecurities from the hardships of life. In a few short years, they have given more than 4,000 bags of groceries to those in need. For guests with limited transportation options, they are open every Saturday morning from 9:30 to 11:30 at the north door of the First Parish Church, 76 Church Green, and are available to anyone, no questions asked. The demand increases every week. With the looming reduction in SNAP benefits, the need is growing. Please consider a donation of unexpired, non-perishable food items, grocery store gift cards, or a monetary donation via check to the Matthew Mission Food Pantry, 76 Church Green, Taunton, or by Venmo at Matthew Mission Food Pantry. The Matthew Mission Inc. is a registered 501c3 organization. Thank you.
St. Vincent de Paul of Sacred Heart Church in Middleboro serves the residents of the towns of Middleboro, Lakeville, Carver, and Rochester. Our base of operations is in the lower level of the parish hall on Oak Street, directly across the street from Sacred Heart Church in downtown Middleboro. At this time, we serve approximately 500 families in our service area, and many of them come to us for various types of aid. This can take many forms and include many of the following programs: utilities and rent assistance, agency referrals, clothing and furniture vouchers, and temporary lodging. For more information, go to svdbmiddleboro.org. May the good Lord bless you and keep you safe.
And we're back. Because I turned the music down there, the bumper music down. There we go. And,
Bumper.
And there we go. 7:51 a.m. We still got some time if you want to call in. 508-822-1106. Dawn.
Yes.
So, first things first, with our trip on Friday,
yeah.
we get to Asaic. Really nice station.
Right.
You wanted to talk a little bit about the parking.
Yeah, no, real quick on how they do the fares, okay? Wasaic Station's in the line of the Upper Harlem, which is near, it's on the Connecticut line. It's
very close to Connecticut.
It's probably like
Connecticut line,
4
about
miles.
like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's like 30 miles north of I-84 and Route 22, north of Hawley, New York, up that way. Milton's to the north, and then eventually, it's not too far from Massachusetts. Actually, it's right around the corner there. But they have the machines there, And we showed up, and parking was easy. We were $371, and you just put your credit card in. Credit card only, obviously, but whatever. That's the day and age we're living in. And it said $371. We just put $371 in. Desired time, we bought 16 hours was $375, which I thought was cheap, to be honest with you, parking. And then the ticket was $21 each going down. It was 82 miles to Grand Central. It's the longest one ride seat on Metro North system. They do have like the peak hour for which was 28, which personally I don't like the whole peak hour things. I think that's just a money grab. Is part of the government's job with our taxpayers' money, or the people who pay, and the New York people will pay, and the federal tax money we all pay in the United States, is transportation. You want to get people to ride, more people to ride transportation, public transportation, and that's how you do it. So the system's good, and the park, it's simple, and I think the T should implement that. They have app only, or they send you a bill. That's terrible. I mean, if it's there, you pay it. If you don't pay it, they give you a ticket, and you got to pay in the mail with a penalty. But it's so easy to pay. I mean, I talked to people who would not ride. Like a couple of customers of mine who lived in Situate, who wouldn't ride the T because they were older. They didn't want to deal with the app. I got to put it on my app on my phone. It's another thing I got to do. It shouldn't be another thing you should do. If you ride the T, or you want to go to the commuter rail, you should go in, and that's how it should be. It's simple. There's a number there, and then you just go in, put your credit card in, dial in your number, desired time. I could fly out to Timbuktu from Wassaic and leave my car there. And I think I'm not sure exactly how long, but there was a limited time, and it looked like you could buy up to like 7 days, as far as I can see on the display. So, so that's enough about the parking, but I think the T should do it because they will get paid. And number two, the conductors didn't miss a beat. Everyone paid. They were on the ball. So that's what the T needs to do. I mean, they're crying, they're belly aching that they don't have no money, but they don't do their jobs and collect the fare, and they don't have a good system for the people. They don't have a user-friendly system. Joey?
So the commuter rail line, owned and operated by the Metro North Railroad in the state of New York, it runs north from New York City to Wassaic and eastern Dutchess County. The lower 53 miles from Grand Central to Southeast in Putnam County is electrified. You got a switch at Southeast.
Most of it. There are some through.
There are some that go straight through.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of them. You stop at Southeast and get on the electric.
And it was a 1 minute switch?
Not even.
They said you hurry up.
Very, very quick. Very quick switch.
I'll tell you.
It'll be very quick. Electrified with third rail and has at least 2 tracks. The section north of Southeast is a non-electrified single track served by diesel locomotives. Before the renaming of the line in 1983, it eventually became the Harlem Division of the New York Central Railroad. The diesel trains usually run as a shuttle on the northern end of the line, except for the rush hour express trains in peak direction, 2 to Grand Central in the morning and 2 from Grand Central in the evening. With 38 stations, the Harlem line has the most of any Metro North main line. And its northern terminal, Wassaic, is the northernmost station in the system. It is the only Metro North line used exclusively by that carrier. No use by Amtrak. CSX does do freight service customers as far as Mount Vernon, and the only one that uses the entirety of the existing track. It is colored blue on the Metro North timetables. Stations on that line have blue trim. Blue color coding appears to have started with timetables issued by predecessor New York Central as far back as 1965. there are other stations on this line, or there used to be other stations on this line that are now closed. We'll go over some of these stations here real quick on this line. Well, you have Zone 1, Manhattan. You have, of course, the Terminus, Grand Central Terminal. You have 59th Street, which was built during the late 1870s. Trains did not stop there. It is not closed, I don't think. It doesn't say it's closed.
It's for emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that. Right.
There was 72nd Street, which closed in 1901. 86th Street, which also closed on the same day in 1901. 110th Street, June 17, 1906, it was closed. The first stop after you leave Grand Central is Harlem 125th Street. And then they had 138th. They had 138th Street. Melrose, which they don't stop at. Morrisania, which closed in 1973. Claremont Park, which closed in 1960. Tremont, I believe, is the next stop after Harlem, 125. Then they had 183rd Street. Fordham is a stop. Botanical Garden.
That's a stop.
That's a stop as well. Williams Bridge.
Saw that.
Woodlawn is a stop. Well, I don't know about Wakefield. Mount Vernon. At least one. I think it's called Mount Vernon West, so that's a stop. Or we did kind of fly by it on the express train.
We did express after 125th. The train is at express to White Plains.
Yeah, and then the Fleetwood, Bronxville, Scarsdale, White Plains, which is a stop, which is a major stop.
Right.
North White Plains, Valhalla, Mount Pleasant, Hawthorne.
Yeah, you can look at the map.
Mount Kisco, Bedford Hills, Katuna, Golden's Bridge, Purdy's, Southeast, which we talked about.
Then that's where the electric ends over.
Yes, and then they have Harlem Valley, Wingdale, Dover Furnace, which is closed in 1968. They have Dover Plains, 10 Mile River, and Wasaig is the terminus. Other stations that they had that are now closed: Amina, Millerton, Copac Falls, Hillsdale. It used to junction with the Boston and Albany Railroad Main Line and Rutland Railroad, and that terminus was at Chatham Union Station.
If you go up there, that's the line that goes to Albany and Boston. And it's one thing too. I mean, we're running a long time, but
yeah, we're out of time.
From Wasaig down to Brewster is so beautiful. The ride is so
absolutely
beautiful. It is. You want to go for a nice train ride. It was a long ride to go there. We did it differently. Yeah. But, I mean, if you're in New York, you take a ride up and back down or whatever and maybe walk to the town and maybe get some lunch or something like that. But it was really nice.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody. I hope everyone enjoyed today's program. We'll be back next week with Kevin Wynn. Next week is St. Patrick's Day. We'll be back next Sunday with another edition of Middleboro in Review. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.